Okay guys, I know I said chapter 2 was my favorite chapter so far in the series, but now this chapter might also be my new favorite chapter already. Though, I will actually say this chapter has mostly pros in my opinion, but I do see some cons here as well, so let's get into the point and start this review already. So of course it is called, and I think it was pretty obvious to see that Din Djarin is back, and we see him going back to his bounty hunting job. I also say the mix between the intro songs with Book of Boba and The Mandalorian sounds absolutely amazing. So we find ourselves in a butcher market, and of course Din comes in to find his bounty, and of course it doesn't go well for all those who surround him. And this time, seeing him in action comes the dark saber, and we can tell he isn't used to the saber since he does scratch his thigh, and we get to see him actually kill off the bounty. I won't lie, it totally caught me off guard seeing him do this, and I feel like the saber is actually taking control of him. But he leaves with his head and tells the other workers still alive to let him pass and they can have the credits the target had. He then goes off to deliver his head off and goes to a secret hiding place to meet with the armor and Paz Vizsla to show her that he has the dark saber. And then we get into a good history lesson about the saber, and the Great Purge was also mentioned as well. After that, we see that Din wants to go back to visit Grogu, and he wants to give him something to him. For that, he gives up the Beskar spear for it to be forged into a small gift we don't see until the next episode, of course. Then we get into a training lesson with the dark saber, and it doesn't go so well since Din isn't used to a powerful saber. And then we get into a duel with Paz Vizsla for him to take the saber off Din's hands. This duel was pretty epic, and when Din almost killed Vizsla, the armorer stops them to ask if either of them has taken off their helmets. Of course, Din hesitates because, of course, he did it, and he admits to it, and gets told that he's no longer a Mandalorian. He then leaves to the city, and of course he can't go into a commercial ship with with his weapons on, and it's honestly scary to see him take out the saber and putting it in a case. He takes the ship and goes back to Tatooine though to visit Peli. For those who actually know Jedi Fallen Order, we actually get to see a live-action BD droid, and it's honestly so cute until it gets picked up by a wombo rat. Peli tries to kill it, but Din comes in just in time and asks to kill it, obviously, and asks her about getting a new Razor Crest. And what Peli gives him is an unfinished N1 starfighter, and it's pretty interesting to see a prequel ship being brought into this show. Eventually, Din comes into agreement to fix it up better and give it a test ride. And just seeing him take this for a spin gives me Phantom Menace vibes with the pod racing. And then he goes out to space to test it out until he gets stopped by the same rebel pilots from Chapter 10 of Mandalorian. And the way he jets out from them is so freaking hilarious. By the time he lands the ship and Peli tells him there's a friend waiting for him to find out it's Fennec, and she asks for his assistance. And we ended there with the cliffhanger of him saying he needs to visit a friend first, meaning Grogu. Like I said, there are many good things. I absolutely love seeing this chapter since we do get to see how he's doing, and it's funny to hear how Peli actually dated a Jawa. I'm like, ew, gross. But I won't deny, it does cause a situation where if this will have to be reused for season 3 of Mandalorian, or the series will have to connect to the new season, and I could see some issues with this. But we won't know until we get to see these last 2 chapters coming up. And it hurts to say that, since this show is something I honestly love next to Mandalorian as a live-action Star Wars series. And what I'm hearing with Green Warrior, we're finally coming together for these last 2 chapters to make a proper review to end this series. I know Green Warrior, you had your other projects going on, but let's kind of end this in a good way. And also some other news that Dave Filoni is actually producing Chapter 6, so maybe we'll likely see some familiar Jedi faces, if you know what I'm saying. So I hope you guys are ready to see it, and until then, I will see you in the next chapter. Bye!